Many people spend their lives searching for peace outside of themselves. They believe that if they have the right job, the right partner, or enough money, they will finally feel at ease. They move from one place to another, hoping a new environment will bring them calm. They seek comfort in material possessions, thinking that a beautiful home or a luxurious lifestyle will create peace. But no matter how much they achieve, they find that true peace remains out of reach. This is because the peace they seek is built on unstable ground. The world around us is always changing. No job is completely secure. Relationships shift and evolve. Wealth can come and go. If our sense of peace depends on these things, we will always live in fear of losing them. When difficulties arise, we will feel shaken. When things do not go as we wish, we will feel frustrated. Imagine a person standing on a boat in the middle of the ocean. The water is calm, and they feel safe. But suddenly, the waves rise, and the boat begins to rock. If they only feel secure when the water is still, they will always be at the mercy of the ocean. In the same way, if we depend on external conditions for peace, we will never find lasting stability. True peace cannot be found outside of us. It is not something we can buy or control. It is not a destination we can reach by changing our circumstances. Instead, it is something we cultivate within ourselves. When we understand this, our search for peace begins to shift. We stop chasing after things that cannot provide lasting satisfaction. We start looking in a different direction, toward the sanctuary within. Many people fear looking inward. They worry that they will find only restlessness or discomfort. They have spent their lives avoiding silence, filling every moment with distractions. But silence is not the enemy. It is the doorway to something deeper. Only when we turn our attention inward can we begin to discover the peace that has always been there, waiting for us. The journey to inner peace is not about escaping life's challenges. It is about learning to remain steady, even when the waves rise. The world will continue to change, but our sense of peace does not have to. When we stop relying on the outside world for stability, we begin to uncover a sanctuary that no storm can shake. If peace is not found in the outside world, then where do we look? The answer lies within the mind. But the mind itself can often seem like a restless place. Thoughts rise and fall, shifting like the wind. Emotions come and go, sometimes calm and sometimes stormy. We may wonder, how can we find peace in something so unstable? To understand this, we must first recognize the nature of the mind. The mind is like a vast sky, and our thoughts are like passing clouds. Sometimes the sky is clear, and we feel at ease. Other times the clouds are dark and heavy, filling us with worry or sadness. But no matter how thick the clouds become, the sky itself remains unchanged. It does not disappear. It is always there, vast and open, behind whatever weather may come. The problem is that we often mistake the clouds for the sky. When difficult thoughts or emotions arise, we identify with them completely. We say, "I am anxious," or "I am angry," as if these feelings define us. But just like the clouds, these emotions are temporary. They may feel overwhelming, but they do not last forever. If we can step back and observe them, rather than becoming lost in them, we begin to see that we are not the storm, we are the sky that holds it. This shift in perspective changes everything. When we realize that our thoughts and emotions do not control us, we stop reacting to them with fear. Instead of fighting against them or running from them, we simply let them come and go. A moment of anger arises, and we see it for what it is, just a passing cloud. A wave of sadness appears, but we know it will not stay forever. Many people believe that finding peace means stopping all thoughts, making the mind completely silent. But this is not the case. The mind will always produce thoughts, just as the sky will always have clouds. Peace does not come from controlling the mind. It comes from understanding it. When we stop chasing after pleasant thoughts and running from unpleasant ones, we begin to rest in the deeper stillness beneath them. This stillness is always present, no matter what is happening on the surface. It is not something we need to create. It is something we simply need to recognize. When we do, we begin to experience the mind not as a source of struggle, but as a gateway to something deeper. True peace is not about changing what we think. It is about changing how we relate to our thoughts. If our thoughts and emotions are like passing clouds, then where does true stillness exist? It is not found in the absence of thoughts, nor in trying to control the mind. Instead, it arises when we learn to rest in the deeper space beneath our mental activity, the quiet presence that is always there. This stillness is not something we need to create. It is already within us, like the calm depths of the ocean beneath the waves. The problem is that we are usually caught on the surface, tossed around by thoughts, emotions, and external events. We spend our days reacting, chasing after what we desire, and running from what we fear. In doing so, we forget the stillness that is always present. To cultivate inner stillness, we must first stop feeding the restlessness of the mind. We do this not by forcing our thoughts to stop, but by gently shifting our attention. If we always focus on the waves, we will feel unsteady. But if we look deeper, we will begin to notice the vast, quiet space beneath. This space is not empty. It is full of awareness, clarity, and presence. One way to connect with this stillness is through simple observation. Instead of reacting to every thought and emotion, we watch them with curiosity. A thought appears, and we notice it without clinging to it. An emotion rises, and we allow it to be there without resisting. In doing this, we step out of the cycle of endless movement and into a state of quiet awareness. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is the ability to remain undisturbed by movement. Imagine sitting by a river, watching the water flow past. You do not need to jump in or stop the current. You simply sit and observe. In the same way, we can sit with our thoughts and emotions without being carried away by them. At first, this may feel difficult. The mind is used to running from one thing to another. But over time, we begin to experience moments of deep peace. These moments are not created by changing anything outside of us. They arise naturally when we stop grasping, stop chasing, and simply allow ourselves to rest. Inner stillness is not something distant or difficult to reach. It is here, right now, beneath all distractions. When we stop looking outside for peace and begin to rest in this quiet space within, we discover something truly unshakable, something that has been waiting for us all along. Many people believe that peace comes from changing their circumstances. They think, if only my life were different, I could finally be at ease. But life is unpredictable. No matter how much we try to control it, difficulties will arise. Things will not always go as we wish. If our peace depends on having a perfect life, we will always be disappointed. True peace is not found in control, it is found in acceptance. This does not mean giving up or becoming passive. It means learning to be at ease with life as it is, rather than always wishing it were different. When we resist reality, we create suffering. When we accept it, we open the door to peace. Imagine holding a heavy rock in your hand. You grip it tightly, and after a while, your hand begins to ache. The pain does not come from the rock itself. It comes from the tension of holding on. If you simply open your hand and let the rock rest on your palm, the pain disappears. In the same way, Much of our suffering comes from resistance, from trying to hold on to what we cannot control. Acceptance does not mean we have to like everything that happens. There will always be difficulties, illness, loss, uncertainty. But we can choose how we relate to them. When we stop fighting against reality, we begin to find freedom. Instead of saying, "This should not be happening," we learn to say, "This is what is happening. How can I move through it with peace?" This shift in perspective is powerful. When we let go of the need to control everything, we become more open, more resilient. We stop wasting energy on resisting the inevitable and instead focus on responding with wisdom. A person who accepts life as it is does not become weak. They become unshakable. Some may fear that acceptance means losing motivation. But the truth is, when we accept life as it is, we see things more clearly. We stop being driven by frustration or fear. We act not from resistance, but from understanding. Acceptance is not an end. It is the beginning of true strength. Life will always bring challenges. But within those challenges, there is a space of stillness, a place where we can stand firmly without being swept away. When we embrace reality as it is, we discover that peace is not found in changing the world. It is found in changing how we meet the world. Inner peace is not something we find once and keep forever. It is something we practice moment by moment in our daily lives. Many people believe that peace is something we experience only in quiet places, on a mountain, by the sea, or in deep meditation. But true peace must exist even in the middle of daily life, even in the presence of noise, responsibilities and challenges. The way we move through the world reflects the state of our mind. If we carry restlessness within, even the most peaceful surroundings will not calm us. But if we cultivate stillness within, even a busy and chaotic world cannot disturb us. The question then is not whether the world is peaceful, but whether we bring peace into the world. Harmony begins with awareness. When we rush through life, lost in our thoughts, we become disconnected. We speak without thinking, react without understanding, and move through our days without truly being present. But when we slow down and bring awareness to each moment, we create space for peace to arise. We can practice this in simple ways. When eating, we can truly taste our food instead of being lost in distraction. When walking, we can feel each step instead of hurrying toward the next task. When speaking, we can listen deeply instead of waiting for our turn to talk. Small actions, done with awareness, transform ordinary moments into sacred ones. Living with harmony also means letting go of unnecessary conflict. Not every battle needs to be fought. Not every opinion needs to be defended. Many of the things that disturb us come not from the situation itself, but from our attachment to being right, to being in control, or to having things our way. When we release this attachment, we find a greater sense of ease. This does not mean we ignore problems or allow injustice. It means we approach life with wisdom rather than reactivity. A person at peace does not avoid difficulties, but faces them with clarity. They do not respond to anger with more anger, but with steadiness. They do not let the storms of life shake their inner calm. Peace is not something we keep to ourselves. It is something we share. When we are calm, our presence calms others. When we are kind, our kindness spreads. The more we live in harmony with ourselves, the more we bring harmony to the world around us. The practice of peace is not separate from life. It is life itself, lived with awareness, balance, and an open heart. The search for inner peace is not a destination. It is a lifelong journey. Many people hope to reach a point where they will never feel stress, sadness, or uncertainty again. But life will always bring challenges. The difference is how we meet them. When we cultivate inner peace, we do not erase difficulties, but we learn to move through them with greater steadiness and understanding. Peace is not something we achieve once and for all. It is something we return to again and again. Some days it will feel easy. Our minds are calm and everything flows smoothly. Other days we may struggle. We may feel restless, frustrated, or overwhelmed. This is natural. The key is not to judge ourselves, but to gently return to the stillness within. Imagine a traveler walking along a winding path. Sometimes the road is clear and easy. Other times there are obstacles, rocks, steep hills, storms. The traveler does not turn back when the path becomes difficult. They continue forward, step by step. In the same way, the journey to inner peace requires patience. Some days, the mind will be clear. Other days, it will be cloudy. But no matter what arises, we keep walking. One of the greatest lessons on this path is learning to trust the process. There is no need to rush. There is no final goal we must reach. Peace is not in the future. It is in this very moment. Even in times of struggle, we can pause, take a breath, and remember that the stillness we seek is already within us. As we walk this path, we also begin to see that inner peace is not just for ourselves. The more we cultivate it, the more we share it with the world. A single candle can light many others without losing its own flame. In the same way, when we find peace within, we naturally bring more light into the lives of others. The journey within is endless. But that is not a cause for worry. It is a cause for wonder. There is always more to discover, always more depth to explore. And the beauty of this journey is that we do not need to go anywhere to begin. Wherever we are, whatever our circumstances, the sanctuary of inner peace is already here, waiting for us to turn toward it. Each day is a new opportunity to step into this peace, and with each step, we move not towards something outside of us, but deeper into the unshakable presence that has been with us all along. As we come to the end of this reflection, remember that the journey toward inner peace is not about reaching a final destination. It is about deepening our awareness, moment by moment, and learning to rest in the stillness that is always present within us. Some days will feel easy, and others will be challenging, but no experience is ever wasted. Each moment offers an opportunity to return to our inner sanctuary. There is no rush. There is no need to force anything. Peace is not something we must struggle to find. It is something that naturally reveals itself when we stop searching for it outside of ourselves. No matter where you are on this journey, know that you are exactly where you need to be. Even when the mind feels restless, even when life feels uncertain, the deeper stillness within you has never disappeared. It is always here, patiently waiting. If any part of this message has resonated with you, I am truly grateful. Your presence, your time, and your openness mean a great deal. Sharing these reflections is a way to walk this path together, and knowing that these words have reached you fills my heart with appreciation. For those who have shown kindness by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, or leaving a thoughtful comment, I deeply thank you. Your support allows this space of reflection to grow, reaching those who may also be searching for stillness amidst the noise of daily life. And to those who have offered generosity through super thanks, your kindness does not go unnoticed. It is received with sincere gratitude. Wherever you are in this moment, may you find a quiet space to rest, even for just a breath. And may that peace, however small, continue to grow, within you and in the world around you.